The views expressed on the following program do not necessarily represent those of this station or its management.
This is the Stockwell Roche Show, giving you real-time information you need to make educated decisions about buying and selling in the world-renowned Twin Cities. Now your hosts and real estate experts, Jason Stockwell and Josh Roche.
What's your score? That's the question of the day today. Good morning, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Twin Cities. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
You're listening to the Stockwell Roche Show every Sunday morning here at 10 a.m. on AM 1280 The Patriot. And today, we have a very, very valuable show for you today. And it's about credit and what that means to you, and also why it's important to you, especially in the real estate business. Unless you are Warren Buffett, you probably will be relying on credit to some level, and maybe he even does. I don't know. So we have a wonderful guest today, Warren, with a great company, United Credit Education Services. Welcome, Warren.
Thank you very much. Glad to be on the show.
He is an expert. He's been doing credit repair, and that's all his company does, and very nice guy, and you will learn a lot more about Warren, and he'll have a lot of valuable information for us. We have Maddie B. with Gradient Mortgage here. Maddie B., how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
You bet. And Casey Thrash is also here.
Our local single.
Hi, guys.
She brought her date today, so no, it's kidding. and we'll get right into the market update, and then we'll, with Josh and Maddie B. talking about mortgages and Josh about real estate, and then we'll go to introduce Warren and get some details on his background, his history, what his company does, and then it's all about you after this. If you have a great credit score, a bad credit score, if you're looking to buy a house, if you're looking to buy anything, or if you need help, that's what this show is tailored to, is you. So, Josh, without further ado, what is happening in the real estate world right now?
Well, what's been happening with you, Jason? I mean, are you out there showing homes right now? Has it been busy for you and your team right now?
I've been sitting on the couch a lot lately.
Have you? That's not good. No. The data does not support that.
No, it's been awesome. The weather has been, awesome for us.
Yep. Supportive.
Yeah, very, very helpful. The rates, have been great. There's just a lot of stuff that's been very helpful. And I think everybody feels, I see people have a positive attitude in general all the way around now, more so after the new year, it seems like.
And it seems like that's happening in every year in our market. As soon as that new year hits, it's like a New Year's resolution. We got to go find a house. We need to get a game plan put together. And looking at the data, it supports that. Right now we're seeing new listings were increased 8.3% from this time last week. We're seeing pending sales increased 14.6%. The only thing that we're not seeing is our inventory has decreased 6.8% in the last week. So these are from numbers from last year at this point. So it's looking very good from last year where we're at today, which is awesome.
So the week last year, the same very week, we have 8% increase in listings, but we're still down 7% in inventory.
Yep.
So even though new listings are starting to come on and people are getting an early jump, which was our recommendation to you out there if you're going to sell this year or buy this year, is to get a jump on it. They're doing that, but the inventory is still down compared to what it was last year. And then what's the middle one?
Factors that go into that, too. You got to look at the fact that change in inventory. We got to look at Minnesota in general and how we're coming back into a more traditional market. We're not seeing a bunch of REO properties out there anymore.
Yep.
It's coming back to some more traditional market, so we're not seeing all that bank
less and less
stuff,
REO.
Yes, and I think that's a huge...
What's the middle number? So we have 8% increase in new listings. We have...
Pending sales have increased. That means almost
15% increase in pending sales this same week versus last year this same week. That is staggering. That's a good statistic.
That means people are out there putting offers on homes. And
yes,
there's a lot of buyers out there.
I like it.
I mean, not to say that it's all about or partially about the weather, but it's about the weather.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean, people didn't go out last year. They hibernated.
Well, it was cold.
It was cold.
I think January last year, where average was like -1 degree last year.
Right.
Yeah, it was bad. And you can see the grass. You can see the roofs of houses. You can, all these things are factoring in. So.
You can actually see foundations. I personally last year was out helping people repaint cracked foundations and chipping paint because they weren't going to, the REO market, the bank they were buying from was not going to go out and fix the property. So me and the buyers were outside scraping paint, vacuuming up paint chips, and literally repainting just so I could help them get into their house.
And what was the temp? It was cold?
It was cold.
Yeah.
It was warm enough for us to put paint on that
Stayed on for a little bit.
Stayed on for a little while, and they got into their house.
So when we look at these numbers, if you're someone that was wanting to list or sell your house, these numbers are in your favor right now. There's a lot of people putting in offers. That's why we're seeing the change in the inventory. In the pending sales right now, we're seeing new listings up. People are out buying houses. So if you are looking at list your house, please give me or Jason a call.
Take advantage of the weather. Take advantage of the market. Maddie B, thank you, Josh. Maddie B, what is Radiant Mortgage? Give everybody out there your contact info. You're a great guy, great help in any way. He's just full of energy, resources, wealth of knowledge, and genuinely wants to help you. So what is going on with the mortgage update this week?
So the mortgage update this week is we're seeing applications up. We talked a couple of weeks ago when I was on here how mortgage applications were up. This week has been an absolute influx of people who have been qualifying on my website. And my website's www.yourmortgageguys.biz, or you can call me at 952-261-5422. Seeing the amount of people who are trying to figure out what they can qualify for right now is absolutely astounding. Literally on my way here today, people that I had sent an email to on Monday are on my website right now applying to find out if the FHA mortgage insurance premium dropping is going to let them refinance and save $150, $300. I just had a client who we were consolidating some debt together and were able to lower his interest rate on his loan he did a year ago on VA, lowering his rate, consolidating debt. We're saving him $960 a month.
Wow.
Yep.
So there is opportunity out there. If you are wondering if you qualify, the best thing you can do is get an application in with us so that we can show you what you qualify for and unequivocally get an answer as whether or not you are in a good spot or you need some improvement.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that will also depend on your credit, which I'm excited for Warren to get into here too. Any other real estate things other than I'm seeing an increase in activity? I'm seeing a lot of people talking about getting their ready home to sell. Anything else you guys are seeing in the mortgage or real estate or lending, Josh and Maddie B?
Go ahead, Maddie.
I'm seeing a lot of stuff right now with the lenders that we're working with. We have some bigger lenders that we've worked with that are now coming back and telling us that they are lowering down their credit score requirements. We had lenders that were historically a 640 or a 620 to do an FHA loan who are actually willing to go down to a 580 credit score now, which is pretty incredible. They're also increasing the premium that's available for when you originate a loan. There's always some extra that's there. If your lender's paying your mortgage broker, there's always some extra there. They're actually increasing that so these people can take advantage of these low rates and actually do almost a no-cost refinance.
That's awesome.
Wow. So it's loosening up. Now we want to do, we don't control Josh, me, Maddie B, more. None of us control what the lenders allow or anything like that. So from just a general statement is we don't want to get back into the predicament we were in that got us into the downturn.
I think there's still guidelines there, but they are loosening up a little bit.
Yeah, they're loosening up a little bit, which is good because some of those people need it that have the income and the jobs. Their credit still hasn't rebounded, which is why Warren would be great for them. But
well, let's talk about products too, and they're changing some of the products. We're seeing, and I know this for a fact, that we're starting to see some of those products that were part of the crash take place being more, I guess, more guidelines in place for them, but you're starting to see some more of the secondary market.
Yep,
those different programs come back.
We've got some lenders right now that are willing to take somebody who is a year out of foreclosure, a year out of bankruptcy. They want
the self-employed borrowers too.
Self-employed borrowers are coming back where they're allowing bank statement transactions to go on again, which is good for those people. The marketplace got kind of polluted with everybody doing those loans when they should not have been. But the person who really needed it, who's self-employed, like, hey, I use the tax codes, I write my income down because I'm allowed to, I have expenses, but I actually make money, and here's what I deposit. They're actually coming back and saying, hey, you know what? We believe you now. So it's good.
And the job market and the economy overall is a helping thing to that.
It's a great sign.
So if you're a seller out there, being that we just talked about the great time to sell right now, 6 quick tips for you. And you can definitely consult with Josh, myself, or any of our team members on this. But handle your repairs early. Little repairs can cost you thousands, number 1. Number 2, declutter your home, which everybody knows. 3, start packing. Actually commit to it. So if you start packing, putting things away, you're going to do it. You're not going to put it off, and also it'll clean up your house. Downsize your furniture. Bulky furniture can take away from the room, and big couches, and if you have a number of them, that's another thing. And then depersonalize the home, which you know to do out there, and then also curb appeal. So in the winter, I had a client this week ask me, what can I do in the winter for curb appeal? Spruce, evergreens, little shrubs, trees, shovel, make it super easy. The driveway, there's no ice, people aren't going to slip. And then maybe some other things that have some color that you can put on the porch or hang down from the window or something like that. But main thing is get it clean, neat, presentable, and the snow off your sidewalk and your driveway and sidewalk. So those are some tips for you out there. So you're listening to the Stockwell Roche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Today's topic, we started out with what is your score and why is that important to you? So I'm going to introduce Warren with United Education Services, which is a credit consulting, credit repair company. And Warren, can you tell us a few things, basically what you do, how long you've been doing it, what your passion is, what some of the things you do for people.
You.
So.
Sure, exactly. So we've been helping folks restore their credit here right in the Twin Cities for the past 3 years. And, today your credit score is like a vital sign, right? It's being monitored at all times for not only just mortgages, but also a lot of other things in your life, which we've helped folks with. But really more than ever now, it's so important to have that good credit score. And we help folks, fix these things and clean up that credit score and make it accurate.
So, Warren,
that's awesome.
How can people reach you as far as contacting you if they want to check their credit score? And I guess that would go to a question I have isn't it good for everybody to know? I mean, if we see commercials on TV that say, oh, check your score every year for fraud or for identity theft or what have you, is that something people can also reach out to you for, or is it just if they have a problem with their credit score and you're going to repair it?
Well, there's ways you can check your credit score, and we could definitely help and educate with those. Obviously, there's free credit reports that people are entitled to and ways to get those, but sometimes those don't reflect your score. Mm-hmm. With this program and the great job that you guys are doing trying to help folks with their real estate matter, really that first effort is to really get to somebody like Maddie and say, hey, where am I at? How can I put myself in a position to either upgrade my current home or, get into first-time home ownership? And then Maddie will walk through that process, and at that point, we'll kind of be able to see, hey, what do we need to work on? Are you ready to go? Or is there things that we need to clean up on this and prepare this and get you in that position so you're ready to take advantage of the economy we're in now, which is a great time to buy a home?
So, Warren, we'll be back with more, but if you have any questions, you can obviously reach out to us at the show, or you can go to talktwincitiesrealestate.com. And you can call Warren directly, 612-889-1117. 612-889-1117. creditrepairminnesota.org, all spelled out. We'll be back. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Talk soon.
Said I need dollar, that's what I need. And if I share with you my story, would you share your dollar with me? Bad times.
Every card I tried came back tonight and said no, bad credit.
I hope you don't have that or have this as your theme song, anybody, because that's not what we want. But if you do, we're here to help. So you're listening to the Stockwell Roche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Maddie B. Gradient Mortgage is here with us. Warren Barfeld is here with United Credit Education Services, a great resource on credit repair. And we're going to get into the meat and heart of it on some things for you if you have less than perfect credit. And even if you have perfect credit, I bet you know someone, could be a friend, could be a family member, could be a spouse that does not have perfect credit. So this might be something for them that you can do a helpful hint for them or give them some help without being negative and saying, you have bad credit. But anyway, we'll get into that. So Warren, what are some things we got two experts here on this. We couldn't have better people. Josh and I probably are not the best at this. Josh might be better than me, but Maddie B, who does loans, sees credit all the time, and Warren, who fixes people with credit all the time. So what are some things that we can tell, or what we can tell you out there, tell the people out there, what can they do, and why is it important?
Well, first of all, what is a credit score?
It starts simple. What is it? What is a credit score?
Well, your credit score is really made up of several things. 35% of it has to do with your payment history. 30% is the amount that you currently owe. 15% is the length of credit history. 10% is the new accounts, and then 10% is also the type of accounts. But really, that big one, 35% is your payment history. So obviously, it's very important to pay your bills on time and keep current with those things. Then your score actually stays well, healthy, and also can go up if it's down. So that's very important to have a good credit score and pay attention to those things.
And so we'll go into some questions because you have some very useful information on your website here, Warren. And if you want to reach out to Warren and have questions for him, you can also go to his website, which is www.creditrepairminnesota.org, all spelled out, creditrepairminnesota.org. So that's a credit score. Now, that's a lot of information, a lot of percentages, Warren. We appreciate that. But what is important to the consumer is they just care about the number, right? Because that's what the lenders look at. That's what Maddie B's looking at to get you approved.
And then there's different bureaus too. What are
So the credit bureaus, Equifax, TransUnion, Experian, most people aren't really aware of this, you guys, but they're actually privately held billion-dollar companies. They are not, part of the federal government.
Well, they're not.
No, they're
not
actually
government agencies.
Absolutely not. So, and because of that, the government back, I think it was about 1970, actually passed the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which really protects the consumers here to make sure that the credit bureaus are held accountable and do the job properly that they're supposed to do. And, while they do a good job of really kind of providing that information to, people that, want to borrow money to folks. There's also some flaws there with that whole system, so that's why these laws are in place. And what we actually do is we leverage your rights with those laws to help protect you and make sure that your score is accurate and up to date and current.
Now, is there an exact science, I guess, and I've always wondered this, and this is something I don't know, an exact science why a TransUnion versus an Equifax versus an Experian score, how they come up with a different score, which is really kind of cool, actually, that they almost come up with kind of the same score, but they're different. Why is that?
They are different because, again, they are three different companies. They don't necessarily communicate with each other and tie everything together. So some of them look at different things. Some of them have your file updated properly. Like I've seen situations where maybe there's an item that should be deleted, but maybe it's only deleted on one of the three. And then that's where we step in and help, clean that up on the other two, again, causing your score to go up. And typically what Maddie's going to be looking at is that combined score to see kind of where you're at, and that's what's important to them. But there really is no set pattern or set thing. It's kind of tricky, and there really is. There's a lot of logarithms and different things in place there that really process this. But again, we would need a lot of time to go through that, but we probably wouldn't want to understand it.
It's not exact science. It's interesting to me why you get three different scores and they all come up a little bit different. Yet, however, they're all usually within 10 to 20 points of each other.
Right. Yeah.
Natty probably sees it a lot more than I do.
They
can vary quite a bit. I've got a guy who's got a 710, a 630, and a 594. Yep. And it's like, why is there such a spread? And it's exactly like Warren said. Those three bureaus aren't communicating with each other. Some may have like a collection that, everybody else has deleted, but TransUnion maybe says I'm not going to remove that without better documentation or whatever it ends up being. Puts them with the spread that they've got.
So Maddie B and Warren, why would a credit score be important to you or to our listeners or to people that are buying a house? I think I know the answer is it comes down to money. If people say, "Oh, I just messed up. I didn't pay my credit card on time for a few months. I was behind." No big deal. You hear that a lot, especially.
That was me in college.
Yeah. The younger generation. Whatever. It's fine. I'll pay it later. It's no big deal. Why is it so important for you to get, say, what's the difference between a 580 and a 700 credit score, and what can that mean to someone either buying a house, buying a car, buying anything for that matter? What does that mean?
That can mean the difference between qualifying for a house and getting a lender to say, yes, you're approvable, to the lender saying, I don't believe that you like to pay your bills on time, and I'm now not going to give you money because I don't want to take the risk on you.
And the rate too, right? And the higher the score, the better interest rate you'll get.
That is correct.
Right.
Down payment as well, Maddie?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So all those things are really going to affect, what you're going to end up paying for that home. And when you think of the difference of a rate of even a percent, over the course of a lifetime that you have that loan could translate into thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. But I want to share a cool story with you if I can.
Oh, yeah.
One of the great things that we've had a chance here, we've helped several people, get into homes here in the Twin Cities, which is really a fun part of my job, is to just get people moved into that position. But, we've had, I think of one in particular just recently where not only did we help them qualify for their mortgage, move into their new home for their family, which they were excited about, but they actually called us back about a month later after closing and said, you're not going to believe this, but we're actually saving more money than we ever thought because we refinanced our car loans, 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
We also found that our car insurance premiums were lowered because of our higher
insurance
credit
will go
score.
down, yes.
Yeah.
So they saved an extra $500 a month, you guys, on just their car piece, let alone what they saved, on their mortgage by getting that score up and qualifying for a good mortgage.
That's great. That's awesome. And Warren, so I have a question as far as your credit score. If you get your credit score and you want to know what it is, what would be a typical scenario where they might need your help, Warren? For example, let's say I have a 550 and Josh has a 750, and I'm looking to buy a house, or let's say I have a 640. What are the numbers? I mean, give us some numbers, because a lot of people out there, I say, we started the show with what's your score. I don't know what my credit score is personally, or between the 3 of them. I don't know if Josh.
Yeah, I don't. But we should.
We should
We
know it, especially if you're buying a house. You should know it. But where do you come into play to help someone out? What level is it really beneficial?
Well, really, almost at any level you think about, and again, with our service, I know we're here today talking about real estate, and obviously you guys do a great job of helping people find homes and listing homes and all those great things. But, when you think about a credit score, it affects more than even just your home purchase. Like, we work with folks that even can't rent. I'm running into more and more people now. They're saying, hey, they want $4,000 for me to move into an apartment. They want
based
like
on
3 times
based
the
on the
damage
credit
deposit.
score. Wow.
Right, because their score is so low. And,
Wow.
we could take somebody like that and actually help you get that score up, where it doesn't have to cost you that much
You
money
use that
for
money
that.
for a down payment instead of wasting it on.
Exactly. And I mean, most of those folks are saying, geez, if I had $4,000, I'd buy a house, which is, almost kind of true if their score was higher and they'd qualify for the mortgage. But also people even getting jobs. I don't know if folks know, but a lot of times too, you want to upgrade your job or something, or maybe you're applying for a job and they got 3 or 4 applicants. They're really close. They're looking at credit scores.
That's crazy to me.
So we can help you, with if you have that score and you're not even really sure what your score is, give me a call, 612-889-1117, and maybe we could guide you in a way that you could get your score. Of course, when people are enrolled in our program, we're pulling their score, looking for these negative derogatory items, challenging those for them on their behalf and helping them get that score more accurate and cleaned up. Again, another statistic that I find pretty interesting is that 80% of all credit reports have errors on them, causing scores.
80%?
80%. I mean, it's true, right, Maddie?
That's absolutely accurate. And you think about, a couple of, 3 multi-billion-dollar companies, and 80% of what they do is wrong. That's,
Right.
And they're probably
concerning.
not giving you an 800 score, erring on the side
when
of
you think
giving
about
you a
it.
higher score. They're probably erring on the fact of giving you a lower score, correct? That's probably the most of the errors. They're not gonna say, yeah, this person's great. Because
The truth of the matter is, again, remember, they are privately held billion-dollar companies, and not trying to bash them. A business, a mortgage business could not exist without them providing information on what we do.
Yep.
But the fact that 80% of all credit reports have errors on them, we have to hold them accountable, and that's what we do for you guys. We will help hold the credit bureaus accountable on your behalf so your score is reflected to be accurate. And then also with that, we're also going to, educate you and help you and focus you. I mean, you think about it, it could take years to damage your score. So again, this is something that's going to take some time as we kind of work with you and help you get the right habits and develop the right habits, but also removing those negative items. You're going to see your score go up and save thousands and thousands of dollars on everything.
It could cost you employment. It could cost you that promotion that you've been going for. It could cost you the house you wanted. It could cost you interest rate and points on your mortgage. It could cost you not even getting the mortgage. It could cost you the car. It could cost you not even being able to rent because they might take another candidate who has a better score, even though you are going to pay your rent on time. Your score is very, very, very important. So if you have any questions about your score or need help with your score, or if you know someone, a friend, a family member, a colleague, or someone that you want to help out that needs help with their score, please call Warren or reach out and to him at 612-889-1117, 612-889-1117. And you can go to his website too at Credit Repair Minnesota, all spelled out, creditrepairminnesota.org. Now, you're a local guy, Warren. You're here in
Absolutely.
Minnesota in the Twin Cities.
Lived here my
so they're
whole
not
life.
calling a 1-800 number, getting someone in California and paying them thousands of dollars to fix their stuff, right?
Correct. I mean, we'll definitely, if you want to meet, we can meet. Obviously, a lot of things we can talk about over the phone, but, my job is to walk you through this process and make sure that you get that score that you want. And another great thing about our service is not only do we have an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau, but we also have a satisfaction guarantee. Your score is going to go up. So
That's great.
That's absolutely huge.
That is.
Having a partner that we can work with in the mortgage business to be able to refer somebody out that guarantees they're going to be able to help, that's good.
And for the cost of actually doing it, for the amount of stuff the benefits you get from it, I would encourage everybody to at least have or get $1 million. Here we go. You're listening to the Stockwell Roche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
We'll be back with Warren and Maddie B and Casey.
If I had $1 million. So you better run it. So come on and jiggity check yourself before you wreck yourself. Jiggity check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. The shotgun bullets are bad for you.
I don't know about you, but I didn't know we were in Detroit right now. Where are we?
Wow.
You're listening to the Stockwell Roche Show.
Great
I'm
intro
Jason
there.
Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Josh was dancing again. He loves all this.
Yeah,
hip-hop
you guys
and all
should see
these
me. Yeah,
They
dance
can
in
if they
full.
go to our YouTube channel once the show is posted.
Yes.
Just search
so
the Stockwell Roche Show on YouTube. You
Go
can
to
follow
YouTube,
us.
search us. You can see us on there. You can put a name to a face if you want to. You may not want to.
You can see why we're on radio.
You'll see why we're. Yeah, we have great faces for radio. We're here with Warren Bauerfeld, United Credit Education Services, Maddie B, Gradient Mortgage, and Casey Thrash. We were on break, and Casey has a lot of questions, and I don't know this personally, but she may need some help with her credit. I don't know. This is just kidding, Casey.
No, I think it's a
So she has
really
some
valid
questions for
question.
Warren.
I just, like we're talking about like what you need to do. It takes like he said, it might take you a long time to have your credit score go down. Little things that you do here and there, not paying that bill like a little bit late or whatever you're doing. But how long does it really take to build your credit back up? Like I guess it's dependent probably on how much you have out there and what is, going negatively towards it, but how long does it really take?
Yeah, that's a great question, Casey. And obviously, I get that asked a lot of times. And, again, a very important question. Of course, it does really depend on, where you start, what's been going on, because every situation is different. But typically, we're going to see results start as soon as 45 days. So that I do know. You're going to see results as soon as 45 days.
So this comes down to our previous shows about planning.
Yep.
So if your resolution this year, or we should say not resolution because those don't go through, but your plan was to buy something, do something, maybe get that promotion. This is a stepping stone
You have to do
that.
this. You have to do this and know exactly
And
where
it's
you're at with
planning
that.
ahead. It takes some work, right? That's why
Absolutely.
you hire a guy or you call Warren for a free consultation. There's no
Or you-
cost,
or you
no
talk to Maddie
obligation.
B.
Just to get an idea of what's going on. Where am I at? Where am I positioned? It's just like if you're selling your home. You want a market analysis. Those are the things that you proactively can do months in advance. Not a week in advance. You don't want to go to Maddie B and get a pre-approval and then say I want to buy a house. Or go to a realtor, go to me and Josh, say I want to buy a house. Oh, wait, I need a pre-approval. Oh, wait, my credit's bad. Do this stuff, do these steps in advance. I know it's proactive and it can be difficult in our busy schedules. We all have crazy schedules with all kinds of stuff going on. But these are the things that don't take a lot of time, and you hire a professional or you work with a professional like Warren, myself, Josh, Maddie B to help you with these things. We're here to help. Believe me, you'll get lots of free information and consulting and all kinds of things so that we can help you get to your goal.
If you put yourself in a better position, for anything. I mean, I was just thinking while you were talking about that, like a car, they have 0%. Who gets that? It's people with the
People
best
with
credit scores,
great
right?
credit, yep.
And so, but like, how many times have folks, maybe some of you out there can relate to this. You go to a car dealership and you just sit quietly at the desk and you're just praying and hoping they give you anything to drive off the lot. Yep. But if you have the ability and you take time, like you said, to prepare and be ready to go in there, now you step in there with a good credit score. You're telling them what you want to pay for the car. You're telling them what kind of rate that you want, and you're in control. And I think what folks don't understand, it's the same thing with purchasing a house. So if you take that time and you prepare yourself and you're ready, you have that credit score, or your house is prepared, like you were saying, Jason, now folks can come to you and they can tell you, hey, I'm ready. This is what I want. And you can fulfill what they're looking for exactly, instead of just hoping that they get some house. Now they can get exactly what they want and the most house for their money.
Let's be proactive instead of reactive.
Exactly.
And you become a golden goose. You become someone that loan officers want, that real estate agents want, that car dealers want, and you can shop better and compare and save yourself money, your family money. You keep more of your money that you make. All these things are huge benefits to you. And it's a very small, first of all, the consultation is free, but if you do move forward and do credit repair, you'll you'll probably reap the rewards of that, and you'll look back and you'll say, just like Warren gave an example of that family that saved over $500 just
Every month.
monthly. Yeah, that's monthly on their auto and was that auto or insurance?
Just their auto piece there, so their car loans and
Wow.
their car insurance. Yeah. Yep.
Staggering.
Now you talk about how you go out and shop and you leverage yourself so you can get better things. One of the biggest questions I get is when you talk with someone getting their social security number and having them pull their credit is, this is going to hurt my score.
Oh, by pulling your credit.
By pulling my credit,
That's
figuring
a great,
that out.
great question. Will pulling your credit, like Maddie B, you must get this objection a lot.
Yep.
I do not want you to pull my credit because I'm
And there's
worried
different
about my
rules and laws
score
out there.
to buy a house, but it's a necessity, right?
It is a necessity. So if I'm going to refer somebody to Warren who's going to need help, or somebody tells me, "Hey, I don't want you to pull my score because I'm worried about it ticking points off of it," my thought is, you're the first person. You need to run to me so that I can get your credit report pulled, because if you're that concerned, there's skeletons in the closet, and that door needs to be opened, because if you're going to try to buy a house, the lender's going to knock that door open. They're going to take the door off the frame. They're going to dig in that closet. So it's better for, like you were saying, being prepared, having a game plan to be able to say, you come to me, I want to pull your credit. I want your application put together so that your roadmap is laid out in front of me, so I can say, you do A, B, C, and the closing on your new house is D.
And I have a question, and I get this too as a realtor when I meet with people, and I say, hey, here's some, do you have a lender lined up? And if I say, hey, here's a couple of options you might want to check out, and they'll go and say, oh, I don't want someone else to pull my credit because it may go down. My understanding is that the Bureau, and I don't know the bureaus that run the bureaus,
exactly.
but you can go and shop, just like you would
For a
shop
mortgage,
for anything,
correctly?
Correct.
and have 2 or 3, and it shouldn't be that.
It's not going to bash your credit.
Yeah.
So that's only on the mortgage side, correct?
That is.
So if you go to one of those
if you
websites
go-
or anything that's like, oh, get your credit score because you don't know what it is, that's going to bash your credit, or what is actually going
Good.
to
Be careful.
I mean, is it like you're applying for
Revolving-
credit cards
revolving
and,
debt
and
revolving
shopping,
credit.
Yep.
A great example. Client was in my office earlier this week, and we're actually doing a manual underwrite for them. They're a client for Warren, actually, for me. They come into my office. They're like, we bought a car 6 months ago. That scares me. They don't want. They don't want
Buying
their
a car
credit.
does?
Yeah, they don't want their credit pulled. They give me the objection you just talked about. Like, I don't want it to take points off my score, and they tell me why. They bought a car 6 months ago. I said, well, how was that experience? They're like, well, they had to check with a few people, and that scares me. Pull a credit report, and I see that the car company couldn't do it through the dealership financing. So now they have taken
And pull it
sent
through whoever
their
they can
credit
get,
report
right.
that they pulled does not go to all the other creditors that they use to secure financing. So each one of them is pulling a credit report. They blasted
They
out to 10 or
shopped
15.
it out to that's what.
Well, just
so
you get the acknowledgement where you mark that box online.
that's
can
where
shop that thing
that's
out.
where you have to be cautious out there. If you buy a car and you finance the car, I know that sometimes auto dealers, and nothing against them, they're great, but if they don't have an in-house program for you,
They're
they
shopping
will
you
shop
everywhere.
you out, and every single person, 8,
Pulls it.
10, 12 different companies will pull your credit, and then what the dealer can do is get the lowest rate for you, and then they can actually have a margin on that a little bit. Now, lenders, you guys are not able to do that. Is that correct?
No, we
because
are not.
You're regulated a lot more heavily, and if
Absolutely.
you pulled in someone's credit 10 different times through 10 different companies, you'd be in pretty deep water, right?
Absolutely.
So they do once, and you can usually do 2, 3 if you're looking for a mortgage, and with no harm to your score. So it's not a bad thing.
Well, that's good news. That's I get that question all the time. Is this going to hurt my credit? Is this going to hurt my score? And that's one of the misconceptions people think. It will not. If you're shopping for a mortgage, I believe the government stepped in on that when we had our market crash.
Yep.
And a new law came out where that will not actually hurt your score versus a revolving
That's correct.
credit pull.
So how much would it hurt your score if they went and bought this car and they had to shop it out? How much does that hurt your credit?
If someone, let's say that the example you gave, Maddie,
Right.
does that
They
really-
thought and here's the other issue with that. They went to like a My Free Credit Report or Credit Karma or one of these other places to get their free credit report, and they're like, "Oh, I got a 680 credit score." I'm like, "Okay, but you're still leery." Their score wasn't 680. Those scores are sometimes not accurate at all. They're not worth
Really?
the paper they're printed on. So when I pull a credit report and I see the inquiries, and I'm like, "Okay, well, they gave you your highest score when you pulled it." But your other two scores, which is going to be the middle and the low, are significantly lower than that. And maybe those car companies only pulled through Equifax and Experian.
and that's what you'll see on
What
those
is
credit
what do you as a lender look at? So let's say you're out there and you're looking to buy a house and you look at your credit score and you say, I went online, I have a 690. and you go, Maddie B, and pull the credit, and you see they have 2 scores lower than that.
Score.
What do you guys go off of?
We go off the middle of the 3 credit scores.
Okay, the middle. So the high really means nothing. The low means nothing.
It does and it doesn't. The low score is going to show you that's kind of the indicator of how bad you've been in regards to being on time with things.
Okay, but the middle is the main
middle's the
one.
main.
So the tighter you can get these, with the closer they are, the better, obviously.
Absolutely.
And then raise them up.
One of the great things too is you think about the team that we have here doing this radio show and how you have the advantage out there as a consumer to come to this team and everybody's working together on your behalf and your benefit. So the information that Matty has, he can share with me and share with you guys as you're looking for the home for this person. And that's what really strengthens your ability to get the best home and the best rate and the best mortgage.
Yep, and experts. We can't advise enough as get to experts. Warren, call Warren or go to Warren's website, actually, if you have questions or if you have concern, or if someone you know, be the helper. Help them. A son, a daughter, a family member. CreditRepairMinnesota.org. CreditRepairMinnesota, all spelled out, .org. Warren Bauerfeld is here. Thanks, Warren. Next segment, we're going to get into a little bit about credit cards, the favorite credit cards. We want to talk a little bit about that. Thanks, Maddie B. Thanks, Casey. And we'll be back. Money, and credit. We're talking about credit and what it means to you and how it can benefit and help you to have a repair.
Basically, you kind of need it. If you live in the United States, you kind of need to have a credit score.
You live all over, and you need money.
Money.
It's a necessity, whether you like it or not, whether you think it's evil or whatever. You need it to live. You're listening to the Stockwell Roche Show. I'm Jason Stockwell, 3 Max Results.
Josh Roche, Remax Advantage Plus.
Warren Bauerfeld is here, United Credit Education Services, a great resource. Maddie B is here, Gradient Mortgage. I have a quote that I just want to say about the team of people we have here, and Casey Thrash is here as well, and the team of people we have on Josh and myself's team and our partners on the show here. Here's the quote of the week. Enthusiasm is the greatest asset in the world. It beats money and power and influence. That was said by Henry Chester, an Australian public servant. So, enthusiasm. So, we have an enthusiastic group. We are here to help you. We encourage you to find us on YouTube. Just search Stockwell Roche Show. Go to talktwincitiesrealestate.com. Josh put together a phenomenal website for us. Thank you, Josh. And we're on every week here for you, giving you valuable information. As far as credit, I'd like to just start off the conversation of our last segment here with the 3 things that I think are valuable for you out there. If you're in regards to credit for you, a family member, a loved one, or let's say you have a son, daughter, or someone that you know that needs help and you're seeing that they need help and you don't just want to throw money at them or pay their bills for them. Number 1, for you out there, know where you stand. Find out where you stand. Call Warren, call Maddie B, call Josh, call me. We'll get you set up so you know where you stand with a credit situation. Number 2, this is pretty easy, but it can be the toughest one of all 3 tips. Pay your bills. Pay your bills, no matter what they are. If it's that stupid thing that you bought 2 years ago that you finance that you no longer use or want, or a TV or what, pay it. Figure it out, because that will dramatically affect you. Number 3, if you are unable to or you run into problems, reach out for a helping hand. Mm-hmm. There are resources that if you had to go through a bankruptcy, if you were one of the millions of people that went through foreclosure, we are here to help. Warren is here to help. Maddie B is here to help. Josh, myself, we're here to help. So those are the 3 tips. Know where you stand, pay your bills. If you're unable to and you have a situation, reach out for help. So with that, Warren, what else would you like to add? Maddie B, Josh, anything else?
I think we should go over trade lines, what we see on our credit report, what kind of different trade lines. And I think there's a misconception on how certain trade lines will help you and how certain trade lines actually kind of hurt.
Okay, so I have a question. Millions of people have student loans. It's a lot of times the last thing to get paid. I have to pay my rent, I have to pay my food, I have to pay my gas. I just will let that slide. Is that something that's very important on your trade lines, and will that dramatically affect your credit score?
That gives me the willies thinking about it.
This might
What?
slide.
That gives you the willies. We're not trying to give it with the
So,
willies.
so here's my concern with that. FHA, USDA, VA, government entities, guaranteeing loans, insuring, guaranteeing, however you want to look at it. They don't like it when you're not playing nice with Ellie Mae. Because those are
Ellie Mae is the one who does student loans.
Ellie Mae does student loans, so they don't like it when you're not playing nice with them because it's all part of a thing called a Cavers report, which is pulled that tells us how do you pay your debt, especially your government debt.
Oh,
and
I get it.
Those
Yep.
are showstoppers. You don't pay
Really?
your student loans, and you want to buy a house, so you're like, okay, well, for the last
You don't really let
9
those
months,
slide, do you?
No.
Okay.
and people that have let those slide, they find out real quickly that they're maybe not in the position. Their credit scores may be good, but they're not in the position to be able to purchase because they have not been on time long enough with those student loans.
And I'll let you know, personally, I had student loans coming out of college, and I didn't pay them right away. But you know what's nice about Ellie Mae and some of those student financial institutions, they really will work with you. And if you're in that situation where, man, you just got out of school or you've got past debt from student loans and you haven't call them, they'll work something out with you and get those back on track.
So always call for workouts. So you can. That's what we're here to do is help you. The next question I have, and we talked about this before the break, is about credit cards. Now that's another one. I think that
It's revolving debt.
I would propose that if someone's living and they're renting and they're doing things and they're working, that student loans will be the first thing not to get paid and a priority, and behind that would maybe be the credit cards. What happens when you don't pay your Visa or you let it go or you maintain a high balance but you pay the minimum balance? What does that do to you on your credit?
We
How
call
bad
that
is
scholarship money in college, is when you get those free credit cards. So
When
that's
they're
a little-
sitting in the, when the credit card
Pre-approved.
and that was my scholarship.
they're sitting in the lobby, you come down there, you're like, yeah, I'll get $5,000. Just sign this today, put your parents on, right? That's what you
That's
do.
why I argue we should actually have credit repair in schools. I think learning about your credit report before you're getting bounced out of your parents' house, out in the real world, what is credit report? And we don't do that in our school systems. And I wish
think
we
it
did
even
have
goes
something like
further than that. Even for schools, I think people need to educate their children and say, you know what, this is the value of money. This is what we pay for things. This is why you get X amount of dollars a week for your allowance, and this is why you have to have a job. Because when you're in school or when you go out on your own and you have all this independence, this is what you're going to have to deal with, and you're going to realize. And a lot of people in their 20s realize right away, wow, I don't have any money because I spent all this pretend. It's real money, but you think it's pretend money because you don't see it.
Debt load.
It doesn't lower your bank account.
So not that we don't want any, we don't want to put Warren out of business by not having anybody go to him for help, because Warren, a lot of people that go to you for help probably make some mistakes. Am I right?
Absolutely. A lot of our clients, and I know there's people out there, and when you think about it, if you have had mistakes in the past, you're really a perfect candidate for us, and we can help you clean those things up. And also, we have education on our website, to educate you how to pay your bills on time. And a little thing, if you want to talk a little bit about credit cards, a lot of folks don't know. Some folks do, but a lot of folks don't know that if you have a card, and let's say the maximum, what's the word I'm looking for? The amount you
Limit.
can spend. The limit.
Credit
There you go.
limit.
The credit limit is $1,000. If you spend $1,000, pay it off. Spend $1,000, pay it off. Every month, spend $1,000, pay it off. That actually hurts your credit score because you're using all the credit that's allowed to you. And the crazy thing is, it doesn't matter what that number is. Like, it could be 10,000. You get 10,000, pay it off. 10,000, pay it off. If you're using that limit to its fullest, that hurts your score. So we want to teach and educate people how to use about 30%. And if they can
your
keep
limit.
that, of
Okay,
your
so
limit.
if you're just doing
When
a
a report.
portion of
Yep.
it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, say you spend all your money on one of your cards, but then you have the cash to pay for it, but you just pay it off at the end of the month. So that way, if you get to have the rewards or whatever you're actually trying to build up to,
Right.
that's okay. Just don't go to the limit.
Right. Don't go. Keep it 30% or less. You know,
Okay.
and sometimes
only
if you have
30%,
only
huh?
30%, and if you have good credit, a lot of times you can call the credit card company and say, "Hey, can you up my limit?" And they'll look at your history and they'll go, "Sure." And they'll bump that limit up. If you'd like to have access to more money, maybe because you want to travel, and so you're like, "Hey, we'd like to have a credit card where we could go spend, $5,000 on our vacation, get home and pay it off." Well, just get that limit moved up, and that's really going to help your score go up in a positive way, and really, really impacts heavily.
This is exactly where somebody like Warren comes into play. Somebody who can actually say, if you do these things, having an expert who's going to be able to help orchestrate your credit profile for you is crucial. Absolutely crucial.
And I
We
want to do
don't-
a disclaimer. None of us are miracle workers. So if you have poor discipline and you buy all the time before you have the money, we can help you to some degree, but it really, the culture of now is what we live in, and we want to make sure that you have discipline, especially when you're going into big financial decisions like buying a house, buying a car. You got to have some discipline in place. That's why it's so important to have a good credit score.
We could never help you heal your credit if while we're doing that, you're bruising it.
Right.
Yes,
What I really
that's
say
a
to our
great way to
clients.
put it.
You
That's
know,
a
You only
wonderful
really
way to put it.
provide the information and not actually force someone to take it.
Right. I mean, you got to step up and take that responsibility. But you're listening to the show. You're interested in real estate. That's what you want to do. And now is the perfect time. Again, when you think about over the years, when's a good time to buy a home? When's a good time to get a mortgage? When's a good time to have some professionals like Josh and Jason find me the right home? Like, now is the time. It's the time, and you don't want to miss that. So you want to take the disciplines necessary with your credit score and everything else to put yourself in that position to take advantage of that.
And have a plan. Well, thank you for listening to our show. Next week, you will be, if you're interested in condos or townhomes, you're looking to buy or sell one, or you have questions about them, it's a must listen to show next week. All about the intrinsic things about townhomes and condos, what the differences are, and how they work. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
Josh Roche, RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
Thank you, Warren, with United Credit Education
Thank you, Maddie.
Services. And thank you, Maddie B. with Grading Home Mortgage.
Thanks, Warren.
Thank you, Casey.
Thanks,
We'll talk to you next week. And
Awesome.
remember, love yourself and love others.